Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Vampyr. Wir quatschen jetzt nochmal mit dem Guten hier. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich dem trauen kann. Ehrlich gesagt.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reid.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reid, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reid. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reid, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Na, zumindest kriegt er jetzt mal saubere Klamotten.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a Good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reid here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Okay. Da ist nix. Muss mich natürlich trotzdem ein bisschen umgucken. Status des Bezirks gesund. Betrifft das... Achso.
It's my turn.
Rotten all perceive. Each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, dry it all.
Warum ist das jetzt so rot?
Bastard gave me a good poke. Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse.
Sag mal, sei mal ein bisschen nett.
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. Me guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Blutqualität sagt an, wie viele EP du von einem bestimmten Bürger erhältst. Je höher die Blutqualität, desto mehr LP erhältst du. Ich möchte gern esmerisieren. Das LT? Ich möchte gern erstmal Details. Geht das? Ne, geht im Moment nicht. Ach so. Um das Blut deiner Beute auszusagen, musst du das nächste Band so an eine Stelle zu führen, die andere Bürger nicht sehen können. What? Wie cool.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Okay, drücke Armwheel, ob du Clay entweder aussaugen oder loslassen möchtest. Wenn du ihn aussaugst, wird er eine große Menge EP gewähren, jedoch hat das Konsequenzen. Seid ihr dessen bewusst. Fuck. Ich hab's angekündigt.
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fight me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Dieser Bezirk wird bald durch die Konsequenzen deiner Handlung leiden. Nein! Das war wahrscheinlich gar nicht gut. Dass ich das jetzt getan habe, war vermutlich sogar richtig, richtig schlecht.
To taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Hör doch mal auf jetzt mit diesem Rot hier ständig. Wer soll sich denn da konzentrieren? Ich nehme erstmal hier alles mit, was hier so rumliegt. Natürlich. Ich flitze dann mal hier hoch. Ach so, die wollte... Ach, die wartet auf uns? Boah, hier sind ja ganz viele ganz doll krank. Entschuldigung, aber ist das auch mal? Nein. Ja, jetzt stress mich doch nicht so. Gut, wir hören uns, glaube ich, später immer noch schon.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
Hä? Einmal zurück, bitte. Ich kann nicht mehr aus der Karte raus. Nein. Ich möchte zurück. Ich möchte zurück. Ich kann leider gerade im Moment nicht aus der Karte raus.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reid. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Ja, vielen Dank. Was ich mich gerade frage. Ist. Kann ich den nicht in den Kanal werfen? Ganz offensichtlich nicht. Gut, dann verpissen wir uns hier schnell, bevor uns jemand findet. Ich dachte, vielleicht könnten wir ihn in den Kanal schubsen und dann würde das ja gar nicht mehr auffallen. Husten Sie nicht in der Öffentlichkeit. Verhindern Sie Ansteckung. Ja, genau. Krankenhausfall wegen der Grippe nimmt dieses Krankenhaus keine weiteren Patienten. So. Da bin ich wieder zurück. Jetzt habe ich ja wieder Ton. Sehr schön. Da geht's rein. Ich weiß, dass wir reingehen sollen. Ich will nur kurz mal gucken. Was ist das? Schließen Sie sich den Truppen an. Nein, das werden wir nicht tun. Aber sonst ist jetzt hier nichts Spannendes. Offensichtlich. Eine Bleistange. Nur.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked. Okay. Then it's locked, so we will not go inside. Ja, den Typen auszusaugen war es wahrscheinlich nicht. War hier nicht noch eine Tür? gucken wir nicht rein. War jetzt wahrscheinlich nicht das cleverste. Aber es hat Spaß gemacht. Da geht's noch über die Brücke. Können wir das kurz schauen? Da ist sonst nichts. Enter at your own risk. Okay, Status des Bezirks bedenklich. Dann will ich da gar nicht hin. Ach ja. Da geht's ins Krankenhaus. Da ist noch was. Hä? Ich dachte, ich könnte es aufmachen. Kann ich auch schrauben. Ach so, das... Okay. Gut. Da ist noch ein Mülleimer. Öffentliche Bekanntmachung. Kein Spucken. Schmiermittel und Schrauben, die wir hier finden. Was sehr, sehr schön ist. Kann man immer gebrauchen. Gut.
I cannot enter.
I cannot enter. Ich mag es, wenn er so redet.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Ach, Mann. Ah, nein, nein. Ja, heil dich mal ein bisschen selber. Fuck. Ja, ja, das braucht jetzt Blut. Ich hätte mich wahrscheinlich hier jetzt nicht mit dem anlegen sollen, sondern hätte einfach mal ins Krankenhaus gehen sollen. Wie vorgesehen, ja? Wie es einfach vorgesehen war. So. Das mache ich jetzt auch. Achso, die gehen von selbst wieder zu. Das ist schön. Ein Flächen. Sonst ist jetzt hier nichts, so? Hier sind ein Haufen Leute. Oben ist unser Schlafzimmer. Hallo?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Ja, was auch immer du sagst, Mäuschen.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Okay.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Mistress of the Dark. Das ist schon netter. Okay, wir müssen nach oben. Wir gucken uns hier natürlich erstmal ein bisschen um. Ein langer Brief. Hallo Schwesterchen. Wie läuft es in der großen Stadt? Hier in Brum ist die Lage nicht so gut. Anscheinend ist die Grippe wieder da und in der Nachbarschaft gibt es viele Neuerkrankungen. Erinnerst du dich noch an Miss Scheller, die fiese alte Schnapsdrossel aus dem 2. Stock? Sie ist vor 2 Tagen gestorben und ihre Wohnung ist bereits wieder vermietet. Mensch, man müsste mir schon eine Menge Geld bieten, damit ich in einem Bett schlafen würde, in dem erst vor ein paar Stunden eine Frau an der Grippe gestorben ist. Tut mir leid, dass ich mir mit der Beantwortung deines letzten Briefes Zeit gelassen habe. Weil der kleine Paul, Mama, Papa und meine Arbeit in der Fabrik mich derart auf Trab halten, finde ich kaum Zeit, meiner Lieblingsschwester zu schreiben. Übrigens lässt mein Sohnemann Grüße an sein Tantchen Pippa ausrichten. Du solltest den kleinen Quengelkopf mal sehen. Er treibt mich jetzt schon in den Wahnsinn. Und Mama sagt, du sollst ein paar dieser fantastischen Kuchen mitbringen, wenn du die nächsten Male nach Hause kommst. Im letzten Brief schriebst du mir, dass du überlegst, deinen Job in Pembroke zu kündigen. Ich finde, das solltest du dir besser zweimal überlegen, Pip. In der Fabrik gibt es immer Arbeit, aber die Löhne sind beschissen und es ist so langweilig wie ein Tag ohne Sex. Oh, ich habe einen neuen Freund und nein, ich bin keine Schlampe, du Moralapostelin. Wenn du also wirklich hinschmeißen und was Sinnvolleres tun willst, als jeden Morgen Tote zu zählen, solltest du vielleicht besser in London bleiben und dieser Gruppe beitreten, von der du mir erzählt hast. Diese Wache von Privien oder so? Hab noch nie von denen gehört, aber wenn es wirklich eine Art Miliz ist, die etwas verändern will, ist die vielleicht das Richtige für dich. Aber spiel bitte nicht die Heldin. Das hat meinen armen Billy in Frankreich das Leben gekostet. Er hat zu viele Stoßtrupps angeführt. Verdammter Krieg. Wie dem auch sei, komm so schnell wie möglich mal wieder her und halte mich bis dahin auf dem Laufenden, wenn es gute Neuigkeiten gibt. Viele herzliche Grüße von Lucy, Paul, Mama und Papa. Pippa Hopkins. Haben wir einen neuen Hinweis?
It's locked, all right.
It's locked. Okay. Gut. Ich finde das persönlich ganz...
It's locked.
Mein Gott, warum ist denn hier alles abgeschlossen? Ich finde es persönlich ganz spannend mit den Hinweisen hier. Ach, hier geht's so. Lalala. Mit den Hinweisen, die man so finden kann, um auch so neue Gesprächsoptionen freizuschalten. Oh, das ist ja ein Riesenteil hier. Da sind wir reingekommen. Ja. Krankenschwestern werden gebraucht. Wer bist du? Du bist hier, Pippa. Guck mal hier.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Reißen die sich zusammen?
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How would you describe the situation
Oh,
at the
das haben wir doch
Pembroke
gerade
Hospital?
gehabt.
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Okay, das hatten wir gerade, Entschuldigung.
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Mir gefällt Ihre Einstellung nicht. Sie haben recht.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Okay.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Ja, dann esse ich ihn.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Okay, Milton ist also ein bisschen krummelig. Da brauchen wir noch einen Hinweis. Wir können sie jetzt, weil wir den Hinweis gefunden haben, danach fragen. Das machen wir auch.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
Das ist inakzeptabel. Die Patienten brauchen sie. Sie sollten stolz auf ihre Leistungen sein. Ja, hier.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
Neuer Hinweis verfügbar.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's...
You should be proud of...
Maybe you're...
Ah, okay. Das kann ich sonst nicht. Dann gehen wir noch auf persönliche Fragen. Da ist jetzt nichts, aber... Okay.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Da ist jetzt sonst erstmal nichts gewesen. Ah. Machten ihr zwei da zusammen? Okay, also ich werde jetzt nicht alles vorlesen. Die Sammelobjekte können wir vielleicht irgendwann mal wann anders lesen. Das... ich würde gerne mit dir reden.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Okay. Muss nur schnell mal einen kalten Kaffee trinken.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Was benötigt, okay.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Okay, er lässt sich also von ihr hier anknabbern.
Damn. The pain.
Good evening, Miss Hallcroft.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Können wir sie jetzt... Ja.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Okay. Da ist sonst nichts. Dann
I'll
auf
leave you,
Wiedersehen.
Mistress.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
The daily routine.
Hier muss ich gar nicht so viel kommentieren. Weil die ja die ganze Zeit am Labern sind, alle. Wer bist du? Moment. Sean Hampton. Ach, das ist doch der hier von Ding hier, ja.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Clay Cox. Den haben wir doch gerade ausgetrunken, oder nicht?
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Hä? Haben wir den nicht gerade ausgetrunken, den Clay Cox? Ich habe seinen Namen nicht gemerkt. Ist eigentlich auch Zeit für einen Cut. Wir beenden dieses Gespräch hier mit ihm noch und danach mache ich einen kurzen Cut.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Okay. Oha, oha. Das.
It's locked, all right.
But the suffering continues.
Ich würde sagen, wir machen einen kurzen Cut. Hier geht's raus. Und dann schauen wir uns hier noch ein bisschen um. Quatschen mit den ganzen Leuten. Ich muss halt, wie gesagt, gar nicht viel kommentieren, weil die Leute hier die ganze Zeit labern. Deswegen kann ich mir das so ein bisschen sparen. Muss mal hier kurz gucken, hier noch schnell, ob hier noch irgendwas ist. Ich dachte, er hätte geblinkt, aber hat er nicht. Das haben wir schon gelesen. Hier sind wir reingekommen. Es wäre jetzt also hier dieser rechte Weg. Den gehen wir gleich. Ich bedanke mich bei euch erstmal fürs Zuschauen. Und ich glaube, wir haben diesen Cox ausgesaugt. Da können wir ja nochmal schnell gucken. Achso, das sind Untersuchungen. Hier. Stütze. Thomas Elwood. Milton Hooks. Clay Cox ausgesaugt, tatsächlich. Clay Cox, 30, männlich, eine zwielichtige Gestalt, die keine Rücksicht auf andere nahm, abseits vielleicht von seiner Frau Edwina. Er war der Anführer der Wet Boot Boys, einer einflussreichen Gang aus dem gesetzlosen East End Docks. Die von der Gang aufgestellten Regeln galten nur für Außenseiter und Mr. Cox selbst war für einen großen Teil des Schwarzmarktes verantwortlich, von dem der Bezirk derzeit geplagt wird. Mr. Cox, gleichsam zäh und selbstsüchtig, schien alle anderen Menschen lediglich als Beute, Feinde oder Werkzeuge zu erachten. Er sah Edwina als sein weibliches Gegenstück an. Sie war die einzige Frau, die er jemals respektierte, vielleicht weil sie die einzige war, die es jemals wagte, ihm Widerstand zu leisten. Jedoch wurde sie in seinem letzten Gedanken übergangen, denn Mr. Cox war zu beschäftigt damit, die Welt zu verfluchen, während ich ihn tötete. Ja. Das könnte natürlich schwierig werden. Und zwar richtig, richtig schwierig. Wenn diese Gang sich jetzt rächen möchte. Egal, wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Macht es gut. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Ciao.